Hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, everyone. It's Kimberly Crawford, and we are live on Intention Tuesday, where we marry our intention and attention to manifest well being, awesomeness, calm, peace, health, wellness, and vitality. Um, Speaking of vitality, Jill has got an incredibly fun practice for us today, and we are going to explore the realm of acupressure. It's something that she and I both use in our practices. But before we do that, I like to make sure that we are in our bodies. So I'm going to be keeping things a little bit more mellow. Ironically, thank goodness for this, the four gates, what we're going to be doing today, I did last night. I've been recovering and healing from a food allergy. I deal with sensitivities, and I find that utilizing acupressure really alleviates pain and brings down the too muchness in my body that I feel when I get hit with different food allergies. So, with that being said, we're gonna wiggle our bodies, shake it out, right? Maybe move your hands together. Take some nice clearing breaths as you're really activating that energy, right? Right. Allow that tingling sensation in your hands. You can start to feel that energy, right? That you've activated in your hands. Now I'd like you to take those hands and sweep them over your face, around your body. And it's like you're kind of like swooshing off, right? What you've collected so far today. Okay? That feeling good? Fantastic. So as always, I have worked to set sacred space. I've called in not only our appreciation and celebration to the connection we have with God Source and being the bridge between heaven and earth. I've also called in the masters, right? The masters of acupuncture and acupressure, of Reiki, all of those healing masters that have walked this path before us, the ones that are walking the path now, and the ones that are dedicated to walking it in the future. We're calling their energy, their essence, their vitality to be in this sacred space with us right now. Okay? So let's take a moment to sink in, to link up with each other in this sacred group. As we're breathing in deep and really beginning to feel the somatics of our body, wiggling those toes and bringing your awareness to the arches of your feet and following that cord that is always there. It's not like we get to plug in and plug out whenever we choose. Those cords that create the bridge between heaven and earth, which is us, those cords are always active between our feet and our head, right? That energy exchange is always happening. It's when we bring our awareness to these points is when we're like opening up that doorway, and we're really allowing and accepting that vitality to fill us up. So bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet. Follow that cord to the center of the earth and celebrate, give thanks to the Great Mother who is always replenishing you and activating that energy. And let it course through your vessel and move up and out to the top of your head as you connect with source energy. Head straight for the sun and feel that yang energy just zap right back down into your body. And ask every cell within your body to vibrate at its highest frequency, because we're going to be full of awesome energy today. Okay, so what we are doing is practicing a acupressure treatment called the Four Gates. So Jill is labeling it presence, staying in your body to balance the heart, mind, and body. And she's got this amazing book by DEADMAN, and it's called The Manual of Acupuncture, and it's got these really great pictures, which she's also added in on Facebook, and it shows you exactly where they are. So we're bringing the famous and easily findable, accessible combination of acupuncture points. Large Intestine 4, which is also called Union Valley, right? Which is right here. I'm not sure if you can see this very well. And then Liver 3, which is Great Rushing. And so, my goodness, never really thought about the logistics of the camera. All right, so let me show you. If you're not able to see her pictures while we're doing this, can you see my foot? No. All right, let me move back farther. I'm not sure if that's helpful either. Okay, so, oh goodness, maybe my sock. Okay, socks off. You're seeing it all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so in between your big toe and your first toe, you're gonna pull your finger back and you're gonna feel like a little squishy part. And right in that little well is the point that we're talking about, right? It's Liver 3. And we're going to be pressing on these points while we're doing our meditation today. And it doesn't have to be perfect. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my heel to press down on that point that I just showed you. So the heel for my left foot is pressing down on my right foot right now, right? And this is a fantastic exercise when you are feeling overwhelmed and you need to quickly pull that energy down back into your body. You can, while you're standing in line at Safeway, you're trying not to lose your stuff, you can push your heel into that point, and it will bring that chi, bring that energy back down, and all that fire that's trying to escape. It's a pressure cooker, right? It's a release valve. Okay, and so then we're also going to press down our large intestine point right through thumb. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read it. Hopefully, as I work through this, we'll talk it out together. We'll figure it out and then try our meditation. This is something new. So I appreciate your patience and your support as I move through this. Okay. Let's see, large intestine 4, also called Union Valley in Chinese medicine, and Liver 3 is the Great Rushing in Chinese medicine. And they're used to help us balance our bodies and energies. And they're known in our field as the Four Gates. Jill and I both practice Acutonics as well as acupressure. And they're a fundamental opening practice in what we do in our care for others. So the work we do daily isn't just about our heads and hearts. It's rooted in our life force, our very being, right? Our chi. We must take care of our bodies to be fully present, and only when we are fully in our bodies, connected to heaven and earth, pulling that energy, remember I talked about earlier, from heaven and earth, can we be really conscious. These 2 points used together can help clear both the upper and the lower body of inflammation and stagnation. They help with physical and mental pain and the movement of energy. They clear heat, wind, and stagnation. So I know it feels really technical. You know, I'm talking about heat and wind, and you're like, what? What's happening? There's wind inside my body, there's heat, there's dampness. Let's not get all bogged down. You know when you feel stuck. You know when you feel what I call too muchness. right? These points help to relieve that. I am a wellness coach, and I help highly sensitive kids turn into superheroes, right? And one of the things that I teach them is the 4 gates, and we call it the PRP, which is the pressure release button. So when they have anxiety and they're going onto a stage for, like, say, their morning assembly, I've taught them to help relieve their too muchness by activating their pressure release buttons. And so they know to stand on stage and push into their, the large intestine, and then they're pushing their heel down, and they can really feel, and they imagine like the little steam coming out of their ears, as they sink back into their body. They ground, they feel a sense of calm, they feel their energy leveling out, right? They feel embodied, and they're ready to move forward, right? They're able to become unstuck very quickly. And so, hey, I tell you, if a 3rd grader can do it, so can you. This is a fantastic tool. So don't be overwhelmed with all of the details, other than this one detail. If you're pregnant, then you have to watch out for large intestine 4. Do not do that one, which is this one right here. Just stick with squishing your heel down on liver 3. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so as she goes through, she's telling us that the hand points, they're for any pain like above the waist, right? And it is a general alleviator, what else can I tell you about large intestine 4? So she talks about expelling wind and heat, which is all fantastic. What are some other practical things that I can tell you? At the end of the day, it stops pain, right? It relieves that pressure and stress and stops, and is a fantastic pain reliever. Okay, so liver 3. Like I told you, the webbing between your toe, your big toe, and your second to big toe. You're going to basically pull back, and you're going to find that point, which is that squishy point about, an inch down. And we're going to press on that consistently to release that too muchness. Okay? All right, so I think I've talked a lot. We're going to get into the mantra. So as you're pushing on your points, we'd like you to walk through this mantra through these gates. I am removing any resistance or blocks to the flow of my energy. I release all energies that are not for my greatest good. I am balanced, healthy, and calm. I am strong and peaceful. My heart and mind are supported by my fully connected body. So what I'm going to do is set the timer. Every 2 minutes, there's going to be a ding, and I'll remind you, hopefully, to change sides. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting with my left foot on top of my right foot, right? Pressing on liver 3. And then I'm taking, and so I'm basically creating a diagonal cross, and I'm taking my right thumb on my left hand, right, for large intestine 4. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. I'm going to start the timer. Here we go. Keep it fun. Keep it curious. This is nothing to stress out about. And a reminder, if you're pregnant, or if you want to go help somebody else alleviate pain who happens to be pregnant, or you're not sure, please, please, please be careful. All right. Today we have birds. We're using the element of air and nature to help ground us in this practice. I invite you to begin pushing on liver 3 and large intestine 4. Taking deep breaths in. I am removing any resistance or blocks to the flow of my energy. And just as you think about that, imagine like you're one of my third graders. Steam coming out of your ears as you release. You can really feel that drop in pressure. You don't have to press super hard like you're trying to create a bruise. Just firm pressure. And continue to breathe. I release all energies that are not for my greatest good. I am balanced, healthy, and calm. I am strong and peaceful. My heart and mind are supported by my fully connected body. Okay, that's our first bell to switch. So please now put your right heel onto your left foot. And we're switching, right? So now I'm using my left thumb in the webbing of my right hand. I'm dyslexic, so the fact that I've got this right is pretty awesome. I get myself turned around all the time. So you're pressing down on liver 3 and large intestine 4. Taking nice, deep, clarifying breaths in through your nose. Just following the energy of your body as it begins to regulate and send appreciation to that feeling, this new tool that you have to literally stop you from losing your shit. It's pretty good. I was literally doing this in bed at 3 in the morning when I was having stomach cramps and different spasms that woke me up, and I thought, oh gosh. And instead of running to go get Aleve or any other medication, I was able to stay nice and snug in my cozy warm bed and simply activate the 4 gates and release all of that too muchness in my body. And you know what? Gosh, I felt so good afterwards. It took minutes. Okay, that's our second bell. Again, we're going to switch. So you have your left heel on your right foot. Right? Left heel on the right foot. Sorry. And then you've got your left hand and then your right thumb. Making that cross. Also, when we cross points like this, you are activating that flow between the cross of your body, you know, the hemispheres of your brain, the different meridian points. It's really important to keep those pathways active and nourished. And this is also a way to do that. Through these gates, I am removing any resistance or blocks to the flow of my energy. I release all energies that are not for my greatest good. I am balanced, healthy, and calm. I am strong. I am peaceful. My heart and mind are supported by my fully connected body. Now, I was pregnant and I could not activate large intestine 4. You're welcome to put your hands up as if you were offering your energy, and then activate liver 3 with your heels. Continuing your deep breaths in, and you're using your imagination to focus on that sense of release and flow. It's not a release as in you're pouring out the cup and then it stays flat. It's a flowing river, right? And you're feeling that energy move again. And it's moving in a stable current. It's not frenetic or overwhelming. You're putting that pressure out of your head and you're pulling it back down, rooted, right? But flowing. Because roots that are capped off die. So we're really nourishing our root system from tips to toes. So again, if you're pregnant or think you might be pregnant, somebody I know that starts with an M, make sure that you are not doing the hand part of this and just using the feet. We're almost at another bell to switch. Through these gates, I am removing any resistance or blocks to the flow of my energy. I release all energies that are not for my greatest good. I am balanced, healthy, and calm. Okay, and switch. Now you've got your right foot on top of your left foot, pressing down. Again, if you're pregnant, you're welcome to offer your palms up. You're also welcome to lay them on top of your thighs, dropping your shoulders. Continuing to breathe in deep. And just focus on liver 3 as it tonifies and releases any overwhelm, any anxiety. We're here in our last minute together. Our mantra through these gates: I am removing any resistance or blocks to the flow of my energy. I release all energies that are not for my greatest good. I am balanced, healthy, and calm. I am strong and peaceful. My heart and mind are supported by my fully connected body. In these last 16 seconds, you're welcome to call yourself back if you are not already in your body. I have a feeling that a lot of us are. It would be hard not to be, as this exercise of the 4 gates really pulls you in. So if you have a hard time staying in your body, and you feel very ungrounded or very discombobulated, which is easy to do because Mercury just turned retrograde, and we also have a full moon coming up and another eclipse. So a lot of us are really feeling like we don't know where we are. The Four Gates is a fantastic tool that you can add to your spiritual toolbox. And again, if my third grade clients can do it, so can you. This is something that just takes practice and allows us to practice kindness and get to know ourselves better. There was this quote that I heard this morning. It was, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." So continue down the joyous path of enlightenment by getting to know yourself, get to know the Four Gates, and add it as part of your practice. And remember, those of you who are pregnant out there, be careful. And call me if you have any questions. All right. I'm sending ease and grace to every one of you. I look forward to joining you tonight at 10 p.m. with Jill Keen as she walks us through her version of the Four Gates, and she's fantastic. She knows so much about Chinese medicine and can really get into the nitty-gritty of what it does and why, and the very technical aspects of it. She says things so beautifully. So please join us. This has been the highlight of my day, and it's always the highlight of my week to connect with you guys here in this sacred space. So I'll see you on the other side. Bye, guys.